Hey everybody, Golden Boy here, and today we have a new patch coming out for Fortnite. Now you're probably wondering, Golden Boy, why are you making a video? Well, that is a very, very good question. The reason why I'm making a video is because there's some cool stuff to talk about, and the world of competitive Fortnite is ever evolving, so there's always something to talk about. Figured who better to talk about it than this guy. Yeah, that's right. You know, the guy who casted at the Pro-Am or casted at the Stream Invitational. Actually, that's really all I casted at, but still, I think I'm qualified to talk about this subject of competitive Fortnite and how this new patch will impact said competitive atmosphere. So let's first start with the patch notes. Let's take a look at this. Here we are. So let's click on the Save the World section. No, never mind. So let's click first on the Battle Royale section. Bam. And here we go. So new limited time mode, Team Rumble. I actually had a chance to play this and it is super fun. It is 2 teams of 20 players going up against one another. It's really fun. It's basically team deathmatch. It's essentially team deathmatch just done the Fortnite way. I really enjoy this. Super fun to play. I would highly advise if you're one of those players that wants to get better at building, get better at engaging in battles, but you still want the games to kind of sort of mean something, Team Rumble is definitely a great place to start. Then you also have some new items coming into the fold here. The big one is this right here, the epic and legendary pump shotgun. This thing is probably going to be nasty, but this also raises a huge concern. There are now a lot of shotguns in Fortnite. You have your tac shotgun, you have your sawed-off, you have your pump, you have your legendary pump now. There are a lot of shotguns available. You also have the heavy shotgun too. That's 5 different categories of shotgun that is available. I don't know how I feel about this. I am excited to see a legendary and an epic pump shotgun come into the fold, but I really would like to see 1 or 2 of the shotguns get vaulted, preferably not my beautiful baby, the tac. Don't take the tac shotgun away from me, Epic, please. That will break my heart, and you don't want to break my heart. How will this impact competitive? Well, it's very clear that this shotgun is going to be implemented immediately. It is going to have impact immediately. You get 105 and 110 maximum damage. That is a lot of damage that you're outputting with this shotgun. It is available on floor loot, chests, supply drops, vending machines. And this was also a really big change. Shotguns will now always apply at least 3 pellets worth of damage if only 1 or 2 pellets hit the target. That is pretty big, because now that means that those players that would have gotten a minimal amount of damage for 1 pellet or 2 pellets hitting, they're going to be guaranteed 3 shots no matter what. So I think that's a pretty sizable change, and it's very clear that Epic is trying to listen to the players about shotguns and tac shotguns and pump shotguns and how those operate in the real world. And I just got a text message, dear Lord, I'm making a video here. Moving on, another huge subject within the community has been the mounted turret. This thing has been disgusting. It has just ended many a stream for a lot of individuals, or it's won a lot of victory royales for a lot of people. The mounted turret, I don't know, it feels like it's just Epic's way of responding to building and the crazy builders that are out there, kind of giving people like myself, us normal players, an advantage. But as a competitive fan, I just don't know if I necessarily agree with it. So I like that they're making some of these changes, and I also like that they're listening to the community and trying their best to balance this thing out, because it's very clear that this thing is not being vaulted. It is here to stay. Of those changes, you have the collision for the mount turret will actually be easier to land shots on anyone occupying the turret. That's a big one, because in previous versions it was very difficult to shoot your target. Now this is going to give some keen snipers and some great shots that opportunity to be able to take down that target. But I wonder how powerful that is going to be, and I wonder if players on the turret are going to have an opportunity to, you know, defend themselves, even though they're just, you know, unloading a bunch of shots onto someone. And then the biggest thing, the drop rate has been significantly decreased. It was at a 1.7 drop rate. Now it's at a 0.9. That is a big drop. I wonder how that is going to impact the game. But I think for a lot of people who did not like the mounted turret, this is going to be a very welcome addition. And then we move on to another hot topic in the community, and that is redeploy. So redeploy is not coming back to the base game quite yet, but it's very clear that Epic are trying to make some adjustments to try and bring back redeploy into the fold. Now, where I stand on redeploy, it's very simple. I love redeploy. I thought redeploy was awesome, and I wanted to see it in the game more and more. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but as I said before, a person who isn't an expert builder but a decent shot, I felt like redeploy gave me an opportunity. And for a lot of people, they looked at redeploy as just you running away and escaping, but you were still floating around making yourself into a target. This new change though actually ups that exposure even more, and this is going to be very awesome to see if it is implemented into the base game down the line. So the biggest one here, reduce the in-air speed when using the glider redeploy featured in supported game modes. And I had a chance to use this, and let me tell you, and you're gonna hear my heater in the background because I live in New York City and our heaters were made in the 1950s, but let me tell you, it is substantially slower. It does not feel like you're zipping across the map like you once could, and it makes me wonder if they're going to bring it back. Now, I would like to see them up the speed just a teensy little bit, but as it currently stands though, this is a good change. It gives everyone what they wanted. It makes the players kind of a sitting duck because you're just trying to like avoid fall damage, but you're still gonna get shot if you're not careful. And furthermore, it allows players to, you know, have what they want. So have your cake and eat it too. Interesting stuff. I like where this is going. Curious to see if this gets put into the base game. And then there's the new tournament, the Alchemist Pop-Up Cup, which sounds very, very interesting. So before I get into the Pop-Up Cup, I kind of want to talk about one of the issues that competitive Fortnite is having, would continue to have, and could potentially have in the future. And the Alchemist Cup is trying to solve that problem. And the issue is that for players, it's about placement, right? And getting eliminations is important, but placement is still the most important thing when you're playing in whether it was the Fall Skirmish or the Summer Skirmish or even Winter Royale. Placement is still going to be very important. What the Alchemist Cup tries to solve is encouraging people to just move and engage in fights, but they're doing it in a very aggressive way. The Alchemist Pop-Up Cup, it's a temporary testing environment, kind of like a limited time mode, where they will continue to test different gameplay adjustments that may differ from day to day. That is essentially what the pop-up cups are, but this particular one does things a little differently. So the initial mode settings will have a material cap of 500 wood, 500 stone, 500 metal. We saw what they did with the material cap before in the scavenger cup. People liked it, people didn't like it. But again, they're trying it, and I think that they may pivot to this in the future. The other thing is that when you eliminate someone, and this is big, you get 50 health for an elimination. So you're getting some more value out of eliminating people, and that is kind of big because sometimes you're engaging in a 1v1 and you're going in this crazy build battle. You spend all these resources building up and you got the elimination, cool, but your opponent also used a lot of their resources. So you got some ammo, maybe an extra gun, but you didn't really get anything else out of it. Perhaps some med kits or some bandages or some shields, but the initial elimination, like what did it really mean? Well, now it means that you're going to get plus 50 health for that elimination, which means that you can immediately re-engage if you choose to. I wonder if players are going to take advantage of this, since that was something that I saw a few people mention on Fortnite Competitive. And then the next thing is the Storm Surge. Now let me read this for you because this is actually kind of mental. So if a certain amount of players are remaining by the time the storm finishes closing, a Storm Surge will activate. This periodically deals damage to players who have the least amount of damage dealt during the match. I'm sorry, what? That is crazy. That is such a dramatic shift. That is like in my mind, that is like the biggest change since the moving storm. So, and it gets crazier. It gets crazier. Look, check this out. It seems like the amount of players that are remaining are essentially what's going to dictate the damage that is being dealt, and whoever has the least amount of damage dealt in the match will actually take said damage. Again, I cannot believe that this is a potential thing. But it is interesting, and it does raise some questions. The final thing is the harvesting rate was increased by 40%, which I think for a lot of players, they will find a lot of value in that. Again, this isn't going to be something that we see in the base game, but it's something that we will see in these tournament environments. And I wonder if this is kind of like the secret remedy. I think it's too early to call that, but this Storm Surge, that is going to be very interesting to see how it plays out in a tournament environment. Overall, a very interesting update here. Again, I don't know how I feel about this Alchemist Cup, but I like the fact that they're testing out a variety of things. The 50 health that you gain from an elimination is pretty huge. I like that change. The Storm Surge is definitely going to encourage players to engage in fights more often, because not only do you get the benefit of the 50 health, but you also avoid the possibility of taking damage. But this all falls down to the randomness at times of a battle royale. When you drop down, what if you land somewhere and no one's around you, and then you end up taking said damage? This is going to be fun to see how it's tested, how it's experimented, but I am definitely interested in what's going on here, because Epic are clearly trying to nudge this game in a different direction and encourage competitors to engage with one another, rather than it being a monetary game like we saw at these Fall Skirmish and TwitchCon. They're trying to encourage you with in-game rewards, which is health and not taking any damage. Now, for those of you wondering, GoldenBoy, are you going to be making more Fortnite videos? Are you going to be trying to, break into whole that thing? Yes and no. I am going to make more Fortnite competitive videos that are going to be focused specifically on competitive Fortnite. Maybe I do a fun thing here and there, but for the most part, it is always going to be about competitive Fortnite, because I am an esports commentator. That is the thing that I care about, and I know that there are a lot of people who care about that as well. So if there are any videos that you want to see, potential interview with players or discussions on certain meta topics and things of that nature, please let me know in the comment section down below. I want to hear what you have to say, because this is a dialogue. This is a conversation between me and you, and I want to know what you guys think about videos like this. If you happen to like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, jingle that bell as well. That'd be really nice of you to do that. And I thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know what you guys think of these changes in the comment section down below, because there are some interesting things coming down the pipeline, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.